Oh, it's you. What's up? How's it going, yeah?
Good.
Do you wanna... I guess we're doing this interview thing, huh? Alright. I'm making tea right now. You want tea?
Yeah.
Alright,
I'll take
sweet.
some tea.
Let's hop inside. Here, you wanna check this out? Here, we'll come to the dead boardroom. Sorry there's like no light in here. This house didn't come with like overhead lights. But... Dude, this right here, it's one of my like favorite boards. I broke it in like a month though, hitting a closeout rail. So sick though, loved it. The Ultra Fear, it's a tight board. Look, you can literally see there's no stickers on this board too. I didn't even make it to like getting it stickered up. It just snapped. Fucking motorcycle parts laying around too. This one is an underground deck from Breckenridge shop. This is tight. I like this deck a lot. It lasts me for a long ass time. Except there's mad pressure cracks in it. It's probably gonna break if I ever stepped on it again. It definitely would break. Whatever though. You want to shout out this CBD stuff?
What is it?
It's this CBD company. It's from the CBD company Receptra. I started getting it because it helps me with my recovery and stuff like that, and kind of my muscles. I use it when I ride mostly. During the summer is good too, because when I'm like, in the gym or just skating and stuff, it helps out a lot more. Like it helps my recovery time and kind of the muscles and everything and how it works out. It's pretty nice too, because it keeps me going for the rest of the day. It doesn't make you tired or anything like that. And not that I really get all that much anxiety, but it helps with that type of stuff too. So I guess it's pretty good when you're trying to like land new tricks and stuff. You're not getting all psyched out. I don't know. It's kind of like, it's almost like a miracle. Not gonna lie. I like it a lot. It tastes pretty good too in the tea. So. My name is Henry Viswat. I'm from Middlesex, New Jersey. Been living here most of my life, unfortunately, except for a little stint out west. A lot of people know me as Pistol Bill too, on Instagram, or Kook World, or a bunch of different shit. I'm a man of many names. Pistol Bill came about because Caitlin and I were camping in Colorado during the summertime, like last summer, and I know we were just sitting around in the tent, and I'm a big fan of Western movies, especially like Tombstone, and I was just thinking, I think we were having a conversation of, it had to be like porn or something, and that's what I came up with as my porn name. But then it also like kind of became my filming moniker, because I don't know, I think like the camera is like your pistol and you're shooting like skaters or you're shooting snowboarders and stuff, so it kind of works. And my middle name is William too, little known fact, so Bill actually works for me too. So Pistol Bill, that's where that kind of came about. But I guess it started off as a porn name. I started snowboarding up in Killington, Vermont when I was 12 years old. I started skiing when I was 3 though. And I always wanted to snowboard. Probably at about 7 I definitely started asking my dad about snowboarding. No, probably about 6 actually. 6 is probably about right. Because my cousins had come up with us and they were snowboarding. So I asked my dad about snowboarding, and he was like, no, you have to get really good at skiing before I'll let you on a snowboard. Because he thought all those kids were like degenerates and stuff. So he got me really good at skiing, I guess. And then finally, I think I just started nagging him and telling him enough. By like the age of 12, he let me snowboard. He finally gave in and let me ride. And I think a couple of my like closer friends also were riding snowboards. So that's kind of why he allowed me to do it too, I think. But that was an uphill battle forever. Everything about snowboarding gets me hyped. Because obviously snowboarding itself is sick. You get to like flow around. It's like surfing in powder, right? You get to open it up and just kind of tool around and do whatever you want. Riding rails is sick because I always wanted to, like, when I first started skating when I was really young, I always wanted to like grind curbs and stuff like that because I thought that was like the coolest trick. So then snowboarding, which was I was always a lot better at, I was like, well, I'm gonna go grind rails and like slide rails and do stuff like that. And that's kind of how I got into grinding rail, like doing rail tricks and stuff. And obviously on the East Coast, that's pretty much all you're gonna ride. You're not gonna ride like big mountain stuff. There's no massive 80-foot gaps or anything like that in the backcountry. There's a backcountry up in Vermont, but it's not all that exciting compared to some of the other places. So I just grew up riding park, and then park inspired me to kind of just take it to all over the mountain, and I just loved ripping down side hits and kind of just doing whatever and messing around with my friends. And the other thing too is the culture of snowboarding and skateboarding have really gotten to me. They're just full of good people that are really, really sick. I love watching the videos. The editing in them is amazing. The level of cinematography I feel like is unheard of, because in no professional movie do you have some guy just chasing around another kid with this camera. And sometimes like they're not even the nicest camera, and some of those are like the sickest edits, the ones that are filmed on like dad cams and just like weird stuff. It's all about just the aesthetic that you bring to it. And the culture is so deep in snowboarding, especially when you get into it, that it's almost limitless. You can do whatever, you can meet whoever in it. It's such a tight-knit community that, I mean, I've been in snowboarding for a while, but I mean, I've met pros and stuff like that, and they've been the most humble dudes. And you know, I've just met kind of all spectrums worth of people in snowboarding, and it's awesome, dude. Like, everyone's just kind of one big happy family. One of the most memorable snowboarding experiences for me, definitely one that sticks out in my head, is the time that you and I, Caitlin and I, rode powder up in Killington. It was like one of the first times that we had ridden together while you were like really good, or like a lot better. So definitely one of my favorite times was riding powder with Caitlin up in Vermont, like her first season. And we got lucky because it had dropped like 5 inches of snow the night before, and then it had been snowing all day long, and it was like blowing pretty hard. But it was weird because it wasn't windy, it was nothing bad, it was just snowing, and it was cloudy like it always is on the East Coast. So we just kept taking lap after lap after lap, and it was snowing so much that it was just refill after refill after refill each lap. And I don't know, I just remember having so much fun, like actually surfing the powder with you and stuff, and just I don't know, hauling ass around Killington with nobody there, because it was like a Tuesday in the middle of a random week, and it just worked out. Like it was just perfect timing for us, basically. And like I said, no one was there, so we just had the whole mountain to ourselves, basically, just tearing up lines. And I remember we got there at like 9, and you could find fresh laps all the way to like 4. Even on like some of the most popular trails, just because it was snowing so much on the sides, people wouldn't hit it, and then you could just take laps through it. And then by the time you went to go take another lap through there, it was already filled back up. It was so sick. That one is really memorable. The other one that's really memorable is the first time that we rode Arapahoe Basin, and like the first time we really rode Colorado. Because obviously, so to start off with, that was like May 25th, and on the East Coast the season isn't that long. So that alone was like mind blowing. And then just being like on the first really big mountain that I've ever been on, in Colorado, that was really something too, because Killington obviously and mountains on the East Coast aren't nearly as big or as steep as that mountain is. So I was just super impressed by kind of the terrain of the Rockies and everything. And I think that's something that's always keeps me coming back to snowboarding too, is all the different places that we've gone have all been sick experiences in their own way. Like even if we spend the day there, it's still so cool to see just like the different geography and like the different terrain of the mountain, of the different mountains that we go to. Because our time in Park City was sick. The time in Mount Hood was sick. All the different places in Colorado were sick. Like Steamboat, riding powder there. It's all tight. So like just every single experience that we got to go somewhere new has been an amazing snowboarding experience, to be honest. That, I guess that's the best way to put it. And powder is always fun too. I do things during the summer, but I don't know if they keep me sane. The biggest one is I skate a lot because it's the closest that you can get to snowboarding. I don't surf, so I don't do that. I film a lot. I film a lot of skateboarding. And I go to the gym kind of just to keep in shape for snowboarding season. The other thing is I watch a ton of snowboarding videos, but that doesn't really help either because it just makes me wish I was snowboarding. Last year we were lucky enough to ride during the summer, and I'm hoping that this coming summer we'll be able to. I'll do everything in my ability to go summer snowboarding again, so we never have to deal with a summer like this again. I think my most memorable one in skateboarding has to be the time that I filmed at the Brooklyn Banks. It was the first time that it was open in like 10 years. And I never saw it beforehand because I was way too young when it was first open in its prime. So when I got older, when it reopened like just recently, and that was like the first time I'd ever been there, and it was just amazing to be able to skate such like a New York legendary spot, basically somewhere that all these like famous New York riders have like grown up riding, basically skating. My favorite filming experience for snowboarding, this one has definitely way more, so it's a little bit harder, but I'd have to either say filming at Super Park and just seeing the level of riding that was going down at Super Park on the features that were there, it was insane. And the other thing too is there's one day that really sticks out to me, which was at Arapahoe Basin with the terrain park crew dudes, and we just filmed this like awesome video. Yeah, we just filmed this awesome video that I was shooting at the time, and I remember it was nothing to be like a pressure scenario. It was just like, let's just go out, do whatever we want to do, and like hang out. And we ended up getting this spot on the beach up at Arapahoe Basin, and just kind of like partying on the beach. But then we would just go take laps and stuff. And I don't know. I don't really think of it as a filming experience, only because it was just like snowboarding with friends, and I would point the camera at them occasionally. But it was definitely one of the best ones, and I have to think that's probably one of the best videos that I ever put out too, because it just happened really organically. It was just full of great shots that just happened naturally, and I was there, and it was filled with like great snowboarding that also kind of just happened really, really naturally. So I was happy with that for sure. That was a great day. For this coming season, I have a lot of filming to do, both in front and behind the lens. We're gonna try to start a new filming project as soon as the winter drops. Don't know what it's gonna be entailed. It could be just an edit series. It could be a full-blown like magazine thing. I have to film a few things with Caitlin. I'm looking forward to filming stuff at Mountain Creek and up at Killington, and I need to hop in front of the lens too because I want to film some street this year. Film some stuff at Mountain Creek too, and just kind of be back and forth on both roles. That's it. Just a lot of snowboarding and filming, pretty much.